Hello and a very good day, everyone. I am Leong Pui Yee, currently a master student of TESOL from University of Malaya. Today, I will be sharing the research grounding and theoretical framing of an ongoing study that explores the experiences and challenges of pre-service Malaysian secondary English teachers during teaching practicum in Kuala Lumpur rather than focusing on teaching performance or outcomes. This study looks at how practicum is experienced and how challenges are shaped by the learning environment in schools. The central argument of this study is that challenges during teaching practicum should not be viewed as individual weaknesses or lack of readiness. Instead, they should be understood as learning conditions shaped by institutional support and theory practice integration. To examine practicum from this point of view, this study adopts work integrated learning or WIL as the guiding theoretical framework. Moving on to the study context, what is teaching practicum? Teaching practicum is a compulsory component of teacher education in Malaysia, and it represents pre-service teachers' first sustained engagement or exposure with real classroom teaching. During this period, pre-service English teachers are expected to plan lessons, to manage students, manage classrooms, assess students, and adapt to school routines, often within a relatively short time frame. It's about 12 to 16 weeks. Beyond developing teaching skills, practicum also plays an important role in professional learning and teacher identity development. It is often during teaching practicum that pre-service teachers begin to see themselves as real teachers rather than students. Because of this, teaching practicum is not merely a training requirement, but a critical learning phase in teacher education. However, practicum does not always unfold as smoothly as expected. This leads to the problem addressed in this study. Here we comes to the problem. Despite the importance of teaching practicum, previous research consistently highlights a gap between university preparation and classroom realities. Many pre-service English teachers report feeling underprepared when they encounter examination-oriented teaching practices, time constraints, and institutional expectations during practicum. In many discussions, practicum challenges are framed mainly in terms of individual shortcomings, individual readiness, teaching competence, or personal resilience. Less attention is given to how practicum structures, mentoring practices, and school contexts shape these experiences. When challenges are viewed mainly as individual problems, the role of institutional support tends to be overlooked. This creates a need to re examine the practicum in a way that foregrounds learning conditions rather than focusing only on individual capability. Guided by this problem, the study has two main research focuses. First, it aims to explore the experiences of pre-service Malaysian secondary English teachers during teaching practicum. Second, it seeks to examine the challenges they encounter in secondary school contexts. The study adopts an exploratory qualitative approach, focusing on how pre-service teachers experience practicum and how they make sense of challenges in real classroom settings, real school settings. Teaching practicum can be conceptualized as a form of work integrated learning. Work integrated learning emphasizes the intentional integration of academic knowledge with authentic workplace experience. So it's the integration of theory and practice. In teacher education, this means that practicum functions as a bridge between theoretical preparation at university and real classroom practice. From a WIL work integrated learning perspective, learning does not occur automatically through exposure alone. Simply placing pre-service teachers in schools does not guarantee meaningful learning. Instead, learning during practicum depends on how experiences are structured, supported, and reflected upon. This helps explain why practicum experiences can vary even across similar school contexts. So, which means that some practical teachers may be placed in the same school, but they are having totally different experiences. During teaching practicum, pre-service English teachers typically engage themselves in lesson planning, classroom teaching, assessment, and lesson observations under supervisions. These experiences play an important role in shaping teaching confidence, pedagogical beliefs, and perceptions of professional competence. Through repeated classroom engagement, pre-service teachers often begin to adjust their expectations, refine their teaching approaches, and negotiate their emerging professional identities. Alongside with these experiences, pre-service English teachers face multiple challenges during teaching practicum. Common challenges include classroom management difficulties, time constraints, learner engagement, and anxiety during lesson observations. It is important to note that these challenges rarely occur in isolation. For example, classroom management difficulties may increase teachers' anxiety, which in turn affects confidence and classroom decision making. This highlights practicum as a demanding professional learning environment rather than a simple training exercise. Let's move on to the core argument. A central issue highlighted across previous studies is the theory practice gap. Pre service teachers are introduced to reflective, student centered, and communicative teaching approaches at university. However, applying these approaches, theories, in classrooms is often constrained by syllabus demands, examination pressure, and school practices. From a work integrated learning perspective, WIL, this gap should not be interpreted as a failure of teacher education programs or as evidence that pre service teachers are unprepared. Instead, it reflects a misalignment between theoretical ideas and the realities of school context. Practicum learning is shaped not only by what pre service teachers know, but also the quality of mentoring, feedback, and opportunities for reflection provided during practicum. Viewing practicum through WIL, work integrated learning, therefore shifts the attention away from individual shortcomings and toward the institutional and structural conditions that support or constrain professional learning. To conclude, teaching practicum should not be viewed or understood merely as a testing ground for pre-service teachers, but as a structured professional learning experience. Viewing teaching practicum through a WIL lens, work integrated learning lens, highlights how experiences and challenges are shaped by institutional support, mentoring practices, and opportunities for reflection. This perspective shifts attention away from blaming individual pre-service teachers and instead encourages attention to the conditions that support meaningful teacher learning. By foregrounding pre-service teachers' experiences, this study contributes a context-specific insights to Malaysian teacher education and offers implications for practical design and support structures. These considerations provide a strong and clear foundation for the ongoing study. That's all from me. Thank you.